Today we're going to be going over our entire light bowgun progression, endgame sets, and combos, if you want to call it combos here on light bowgun. There is a little bit of like skill involved with maximizing your damage output with this weapon. It's not just click and click. You are going to be needing to do some well-timed dodges in there if you guys want to output as much damage as possible. So we're going to go over all of that, exactly how to do that in the easiest way possible. I have a couple sets for you guys in low and high rank, and also a couple sets within endgame. So no matter which way you want to play, I got you covered. Light bowgun can actually put out some pretty crazy damage. Especially if you guys have your corrupted mantle on at endgame. You can just constantly just be living in rapid fire mode, and it ends up working out really well. Not to mention you're super evasive with kind of our comfy set that we're going to be going over. So we do have a lot of ways of playing, but let's go ahead and jump into it. I think the best place to start would be looking at actually how to be using this weapon. Now with this weapon, I do recommend sticking to Pierce or Elemental. Those are going to be our kind of main sets. I usually like to do Pierce because I'm a little lazy when it comes to crafting ammo. But if you want to match all your types, that's going to be your best bets in terms of damage. But just in general, doesn't matter what type of ammo you're playing, Pierce or Elemental, the actual like combos and way you play this is going to be the same. Now, if you go ahead and just shoot with no rapid fire active, you're just going to be shooting out one bullet. So like here, Pierce is going to go through and hit a few times. But if we activate our rapid fire mod, we put the little drum on the side of the weapon. We're now going to be shooting 3 shots of our ammo here, which is really nice. If we shoot the thunder ammo, it's going to be shooting 2, as we can see. So Pierce is going to be shooting more times, which is really nice. But the main way you're going to want to be playing this if you want to maximize your damage output is, as you can see, when we're shooting in rapid fire, we have to kind of just wait a second after shooting for the next shots to go out. But we can actually get around this by doing a little like burst step. So if we shoot and you press spacebar at the end of it, you're going to be shooting another shot out of it as you are doing a dash. This dash is also going to be affected by things like evade extender, which is very helpful. So you can be using it to constantly dish out damage as you are evading the monster's attacks. So if you guys are really trying to get good at this, one thing I realized is after you do that last shot, the barrel is going to be kind of up in the air and slowly come down. As it's coming down is where I'm hitting my evade button. So I'm kind of waiting for it. Once it's coming down, then I press my evade button. You can do that over and over. You can also use it to kind of like reload at the end. But for the most part, you're going to be doing that with this particular weapon twice. Then you're going to reload and do it again. You can get basically like 2 mags and some change out, I believe, per rapid fire. So if we were to like full send it, you could see how quickly we can go through our entire rapid fire gauge. So let's go ahead and start. Be going through all of our different ammo here. Reload. 1, 2, 3. Dash. 1, 2, 3. Dash. 1, 2, 3. Dash. 1, 2, 3. Dash. And then finally, just one more is going to be our last shot. So you can get through 3 whole mags and then 1 more in 1 rapid fire gauge, which is really nice. So it's about 13 shots. That's going to be tripled up to 39 total Pierce ammo coming out per rapid fire, which is quite a bit of damage, and you can do that very quickly. Now, if you didn't know, Corrupted Mantle is very good for the bowguns because it lets you get your special gauge back much quicker. So when you first put it on, it's going to give you a huge chunk of your meter just out of the gate. So as you can see, I'm about a little over halfway. If I put this on, it's going to go straight up to full. It's usually like a little over half, closer to like 3/4-ish range it'll give you. But then we go ahead and spend our rapid fire gauge here just super quick. We can see how quick we can actually fill it when shooting with the Corrupted Mantle on. So that should do for now. So once we're back out of here, we can shoot. That one shot basically gave us like a quarter. You can shoot pretty much like a mag or so of your Pierce ammo, and you will able to get like your full rapid fire gauge back, which is really nice. One thing to note is that the elemental ammo doesn't seem to give back quite as much as Pierce. So if you guys are playing like the elemental variant, I do recommend swapping to Pierce when you are outside of the rapid fire, so you can get back in it quicker, at least when the corrupted mantle is active. Once your corrupted mantle is gone, then just continue shooting your elemental. But really quick, if we go over to the thunder ammo here, you can see it gives pretty much nothing in terms of extra charge. So I do recommend, once again, swapping over to Pierce. That'll get you right back into your ammo, and you're not going to be wasting ammo as well. You can maximize the total elemental ammo that you're using. One thing to note about light bowgun is you really don't want to be using your special ammo like the adhesive ammo or the Wyvern Heart mines that you can put down. Right now, they really just do not do damage at all. They basically equate to pretty much one rapid fire shot, which is pretty rough. It's seriously not worth the time. Like, look how long this takes me to put that in the ground. And once again, it's in the ground, so you got to wait until they're down, run up to them, then you're not in critical range anymore, so you end up wasting more time than just that. And the adhesive ammo takes a long time just to load it. When you shoot it, there's recoil. It just seriously takes forever, and they're not worth it right now. I highly recommend just kind of avoid using the special ammos. You definitely can use the like charge shot on the weak points if you want. This is a nice AoE, so if you get a lot going on them and you run out of rapid fire, you don't have corrupted mantle anymore, and you just want to do like a big burst of damage, knock them down, that's a great option to do so. You will do more damage as you charge this up. As you can see, when you put it in, it's going to slowly charge. Eventually it's going to leave that like little burst of fire out of the side, and then you can know it's fully charged. You can hit them with the Eagle Strike. So that is an actual valid option, but I do tend to usually leave the weak points for as long as I can, just to be shooting them with my Pierce or Elemental ammo. Now let's finally get into the good stuff with our different sets, starting off with our low rank sets. The first upgrades that you guys can do would be getting a 3-piece Balahara. You can get this fairly early. And if you guys get the arms, waist, and legs, you can get Evade Extender 3, which is really going to help you out avoiding the enemies. Like I said, it can be a little jank dodging with the light bowgun, because if you dodge too early, you do the little hop step. But if you have Evade Extender, that little hop step becomes much more manageable for getting out of the way of attacks, and it just makes it feel much more fluid, in my opinion, for the light bowgun. But for the actual weapons, there's basically going to be 2 lines that you stick throughout the entirety of this progression. And that is the Chain Blitz set, which is just the ore tree, and then the Ray Dow tree. So eventually when you guys get to Ray Dow, you're going to be going to that, because that's going to be our Pierce 3 light bowgun. It's the bowgun that I'm still using at the end with the rank 8 variant. But just be progressing between those two. If you guys want a higher mag and reloading less, but sacrificing the Pierce 3 for Pierce 2, stick with the Chain Blitz. If you guys want the maximum damage, sticking with Pierce 3, stick with the Ray Dow bowgun. The second upgrade we can do within this progression is finally going to add some damage within our armor, and that is going to be after you guys fight the Guardian Ebony Odogaron. We can get 4 pieces from here and get Burst 3, but also more importantly, Burst Boost 2 from the set bonuses. This is going to give you plus 10 attack just while Burst is active, which is massive at this point in the game. But we can grab the helmet, chest piece, arms, and waist, and then I keep the Balahara Greaves on. That way we can have just a little bit of Evade Extender, try to keep that fluidity that I like out of the hop steps and things like that with the dodge. But that's going to work out very well. Once again, with the light bowguns, just stick on the Chain Blitz and the Ray Dow set. Just use the highest one that you can, and you'll be good to go within that. But that will be taking you guys all the way into high rank. Now, there isn't too much to do within high rank until you fight the Blongongo. This is going to be able to get us Agitator 5 while also maintaining Burst 3, which is really good, and Burst Boost 2, which is, I believe, plus 3 attack. So it is just overall a really big, massive damage upgrade for us in terms of our armor. So we keep our Ebony Odogaron helmet and braces on, and then we just slap on the Blongo chest, waist, and legs. And you can also get the Chain Charm 1 at this point, and you can get 1 extra level of burst, which is really nice. Once again, for light bowguns, just stick on the Ray Dow and Chain Blitz. Now this will take you all the way through towards the end of high rank. And here, once you're at the end of like the main quest lines and finally starting to get into endgame, what you can end up using is just basically you're upgrading the 2 pieces of Guardian Ebony Odogaron into their high rank variants with the Beta helmet and the Alpha arms. and then just keep those Blango chest, waist, and legs on. In these sets, I'm not filling in any decorations because I don't know which ones you guys have. Just fill it in with like evade extenders if you can, if you happen to find those, or anything quality of life or damage for your weapons where you see fit. We won't worry about the decorations until the very, very end. But yeah, that's going to work out very well. Once again, keeping with the Raydao light bowgun and the Chain Blitz light bowgun. Now finally taking a look at our endgame sets, let's start off with just a comfy variant of a Pierce 3 setup. I run this one the most. This is pretty much what I'm always running, unless I'm playing in like a big group, which we're going to get to next. But for this, what you guys are going to be running is a 4-piece gore with the head, arms, waist, and legs. Also with a Blango Male B chest piece. So if those ones that you guys are using earlier, you're still going to be using it here within endgame. And essentially what we're trying to do with this setup is get max agitator, and then we can get max antivirus, evade extender, and 2 flare out of this. So what we're going to be doing is slapping on the challenger charm to finish out the agitator that we need. Then from there, in terms of our decorations, what we can end up doing is slotting in a bunch of jumping jewels for the evade extender. And then we are going to have one more 2-slot available. So I just did evade window just to keep with the evading theme and make it nice and safe for us as we are jumping around. And then within the tier 3 decoration slots, we're going to slap 1 challenger in just to get us to that 5. And then 2 flares, because right now 2 flares is acting like level 5 flare. Eventually, we could maybe drop one of these out if that gets fixed for just a burst and get that +6 attack, which could be pretty nice. But you guys can kind of mess around with these if you want. For our weapon, we're going to be using the rank 8 Raydao bowgun, and we're going to be doing max crit boost on there with a crit jewel 3 and a crit jewel 2. And then I just happened to finish out opening shot because it does inherently have opening shot on it, and I just max it out with an opener jewel 1 on there. Overall, that's been working really, really well for me. It feels very safe to not be getting hit constantly with all of that evasion that we have going. It makes it feel much better. You can try the the precise gems for the extra range, but in my testing, it really didn't increase my range all that much. So I kind of opted out staying away from there. But if you want like max comfort, even though it's just like a very small improvement to that comfort, you can drop a little bit of crit boost for that precise gem. Now this next set, I only recommend if you are completely comfortable with a very short evade, or if you are playing in co-op and the monster is not constantly going to be attacking you. This is where this setup is going to be really nice because we're just focusing on maxing out our damage. It's basically exactly the same as the set we just looked at. So we're still going to be using the Raydao with the crit boost at level 5. And then I just threw an attack jewel on there. You can max out opening shot. Feel free to do whatever you want with that like 1 decoration slot there. But everywhere else, instead of evades, I just slapped in flawless for peak performance. We can get that up to level 4, which is really nice for just adding as much attack as humanly possible. When we do have our corrupted mantle, when we first put that on, we are going to start losing health. But once you attack a few times, you're going to stop losing health. And if you top off, you can get peak performance back with your corrupted mantle on. Just keep attacking. And if, once again, you're playing like co-op or whatever, or you're just an absolute god at the game and never get hit no matter what, you can run this set and maximize your damage. The final endgame set we're going to be looking at is our elemental variant. This is going to be using an Ardian weapon. With this Ardian weapon, I ended up making it with 2 attack and 1 affinity. You can do kind of whatever you want, and then just obviously all of 1 element. Mine happens to be thunder. If you want it for whatever element, just make it obviously 3 of that kind. For the reinforcement bonuses, the things that I really do recommend in there is capacity boost 2 times. It's going to help you get a ton of extra shots and really help out your DPS. It's going to be your biggest bonus in terms of the reinforcement bonuses, but then you can fill it in with attack affinities, whatever you want, whatever you feel the need to kind of increase. But in terms of our gear, we're still going to be running 4-piece gore with the chest, arms, waist, and legs. And we're going to be filling in with the Guardian Ebony Odogaron Helmet Beta. All of these are going to be the beta and the Chain Charm 2. But for the decorations, what we're able to do is get max Coalescence with 3 Phoenix Gems. and then 2 flares still, just because that's acting as flare 5. A chain jewel to max out our burst, just because burst plays very well with elemental. We're going to be using burst instead of agitator. It's active at all times. You don't have to wait for the monster to be in rage. The actual like peak damage seemed to be just ever so slightly less than agitator in my testing, but once again, it is always active, so it ends up being a DPS boost throughout the whole hunt, which is really nice. But then from there, with our last tier 2 slot, I just threw on an evade extender and then also a self-improvement in the final 1 slot with the 2 antiviruses on the boots, just for that max affinity. Overall, I think the light bowguns are in a really good spot. The only thing I want to see Capcom change is the special ammo. They're seriously just not worth it right now. It would be a lot more fun and engaging if those were something that we could utilize and actually benefit us in terms of damage output. But otherwise, just spamming your rapid fire pierce, rapid fire matching elemental against a monster ends up dealing a ton of damage. That's always like the bowgun's bread and butter, is hitting a bunch of times and consistently hitting. Instead of it just like one big hit every once in a while, you're just constantly outputting that damage, and that would make these weapons so good and why I enjoy them so much. Yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy these sets, found it helpful with all the tips along the way. If you guys did find the video enjoyable, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure to leave a thumbs up, comment, all that stuff really does help me out. But anyways, I will catch you all in the next video. See ya.